Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amused Jester. My name is Junior. Today we're going to be looking at Mafex's Night Crusader Batman. This is me. I am trying to look into my options when it comes to the buying of $100 6-inch figures. I got to figure out where my collection is going to go. These are very expensive products. So I need to make sure that I'm gonna get what I need from them. So this Batman design is basically something that's very interesting to me. Um, the packaging is very simple. It's just box. It's open over here. You can see what you're getting. This is a type of box that I'm probably gonna toss as soon as it's done. Uh, Interesting photography of what you're getting. So let's open it up and see what's going on. So I'm not entirely sure what this is for. I'm just building it like that, but it feels less quality for sure than the Mezco. I don't know how well this will hold the figure. Here's the first one. Kind of like grabbing hands. Maybe this is for his grappling hook. Flight hand or jumping hands, I don't know. This almost looks like the close-fisted hands, but if you look really closely, you'll see there's a gap between the thumb and the closed knuckled fingers, so maybe for holding on to the cape. And this will be the open-ended reaching out pair of hands, and then the completely two close-fisted hands on the figure. This is one of the heads that it comes with. It's got a breathing apparatus from when he's going underwater. The ears are nice and pointed, so that's good. It's kind of rubbery, but it feels like if it does get bent out of shape, it's easy to put back into place. I'm actually quite interested in this look with the long bat ears because this is very reminiscent of one of the is it mid 80s, mostly 90s look for Batman with the long ears. For this scuba mask headpiece, Mafex also included this cowl so that you can put it on the figure and have him swimming underneath without the cape. It comes with batarang. The rope is actually a very strong piece of wire, so that's kind of cool. It won't look natural because it's a wire, so it will take a lot of effort to make it seem like an actual piece of rope that's being flung. It comes with a secondary set of cape that does not have the pointed ends, so a more natural looking cape. This cape has a wire on an end and another wire, two at each end, and then two kind of somewhat meeting in the middle. Feels good, it looks good, it's close enough to the color of the actual body. So here's the figure. See if I could straighten out this abdomen. Why is it like so stiff? So I'm trying to figure out why this torso is so stiff on mine. I want to see what the range is without breaking it. There, finally it moved. So it was just really stuck in there. So my first impressions of the look, okay, the design, I like the design of the design choices. I wanted to get the blue and gray look of the Batman. And even though I'm not a big fan of these pointed edges, I can't remember who was the artist where this was really known for. If it was, I keep thinking Mark Grunwald or something, but I don't think it is. I mean, is it successful? I'm not entirely sure it is. There's a gap that's occurring here at the bottom of this and the actual shoulder plates. The range of movement, let's do the range of movement, okay? You can look up by that much, down that much, side to side, not a problem. Shoulders goes up like that. Bicep, double jointed, not a problem. Hands can go like that. This has an up and down function on the shoulders, so you can push it up to kind of close the gap on the cape, but then it forces the arms out. The swivel on the chest, on the abdomen, is pretty good, so side to side like that, back by that much, front by that much, and then you include it with the waist, then you get not a lot more. And that, of course, rotation at the waist is everything. There's a drop down on the legs. Without the drop down, basically the leg can go by that much. With the drop down, you can go a little bit higher, but you'll see the leg kind of twist to the side like so. This thing is really fighting me. But with that, you can combine it with the torso, so it can really look weirdly, have that move. The rotation on the thigh, it doesn't have a thigh cut, so it can only move by that much on the thighs. But at least your sculpt is secure. The knee is double jointed, so it will go by that much. The ankle goes down, goes up, toe articulation, and a swivel on the ankle as well. The joints are really stiff on mine, but I mean, it is a brand new figure, so I'm assuming as I play with it some more, it will become a little bit more looser, so it doesn't seem like it's fighting me. The range of movement of the articulation obviously is pretty good. That butterfly joint is allowing it to move, look that much more inward. Let's place this with this head. This is how I would display. This is the combination I would display with this pointy ears, pointy edges with this ears, because that's the look that I can think of would fit it the most. The wires on the cape allows it to do quite a bit. Can balance itself because of the joints being tight. There's no peg holes in the bottom. That's not how Mafex is built. So this is going for $104. I was able to buy it with my Amazon credit, so technically it only cost me 26 bucks because I have a bunch of credit on Amazon. So let's talk about, let's see, well, let's look at how this one pops off, I believe, like that. And then you put on the normal looking one. Is there another one? There's two in the back. It's like two pegs in the back and then one in the front. So I'm showing plug in the back first and then the front. So the problem with this pegging system that they're using on this shoulder cape, this is too short, and with the thickness of the cape kind of like interfering with that, it's really hard to plug this into the small two plug holes in the back of this figure. So in the end, the only thing that's attaching this piece of shoulder to the figure is this tab in the front. I mean, you can lie to yourself and pretend that this is actually tabbing in the back. It's not. So I'm kind of disappointed in that. This is the look of what I want with Batman. This is the dark gray version, bright yellow symbol, this style of belt, and the choice of the color blue. This is basically what I wanted. This doesn't really do anything for me. This head sculpt. I know it's was fairly. I remember reading the comic book issue where this one came from, but that's not interesting to me. This is more interesting. That's more interesting. The cowled shoulder piece is interesting as well. So the style appeals to me. The reason why I'm considering getting Mafex over Mezco is the range of articulation. Now, Mezco has great articulation it for a clothed figure, but Mafex does more. Particularly the shoulder over here gives you more range. The leg to the crotch system gives you more range with that drop down. The toe articulation is not so much. Um, the plastic feels good. Changing the hands doesn't seem like it would be an issue. It goes in pretty smoothly. In fact, I might even say that it goes in too, or it comes out too easily. That it might get too loose and you'd lose a hand. Karate chop. So for dynamic posing, I think Mafex would get a lot more. Um, but is this a collection that you want? Because it's $100. But the cool thing is, I'm not considering SH Figure Arts. It's a lot smaller than Mafex, and Mafex does fill in one of the requirements that I needed, which is basically to stand toe to toe with Marvel Legends in terms of height and scale. Now he might seem a little bit smaller because Captain America is actually on a stand. So let's put him a little bit on a stand. So it's about the same size. The scaling is, he seems a little bit smaller than a normal Marvel Legends. The face is smaller, the chest is smaller, the feet are smaller scale, even though they're standing side by side. So it kind of works, but I don't know. I think for $100 figure, So this base is very disappointing. Look at that. Look at how weak that is. It's not even holding the figure compared to the Mezco that's in the background. Look at it. I'm moving it back and forth. Look at the Mezco stand in the back. I'm moving it back and forth. It's just playing back and forth and nothing. It's nothing moving around. This one can't even stand just straight off like that. So that's really disappointing there. So my final thoughts on the Mafex Nightfall or Nightsend Batman. This is my second shot for my final thoughts. This is actually the next day after my initial review. I gave myself time to play with the figure, to give it a chance, and discover exactly how it goes instead of just having a first reaction towards it. What I've done is basically just remove the cape and put in the part of the cowl that does not have the cape, so I can really play around with the articulation of the figure, the range, and all that stuff without the hampering of the cape. So first thing is that this stand is crap. There's just no way I could recommend that. For $100 figure, you would almost say it's better to not have a stand at all, but for $100 price, you do expect a stand for a figure, and that's just crap, and that's just not acceptable. The cape, I think the execution of the cape is acceptable in terms of the design, what it does, the wires that they've put on it, even the gap that occurs underneath the cape and between the shoulders over here. It's acceptable because you still want that range. What's not acceptable is the way they design how it pegs into the back of the figure in the front. The front is okay, but the back, if it, see, this one has the same system. If it did not have the cloth, it plugs in just fine. The problem is when you attach the cloth and you're adding the thickness of the cloth or fabric in between this shoulder and the figure, those two tabs are not gonna do anything at all. They just won't work. So that part of the cape design I don't like. In terms of the difficulty I was having with this figure, specifically this torso thing, so one of the issues as I played around some on it that I discovered was this belt. So this belt is free floating, and what I did was so what was happening was, you can kind of see the result right now where this has is closer to the edge than this one. It's not even. So what I realized that because of that free floating thing, it kept on messing around with the torso. So I just jammed it in there a little bit more. So that at first visually it evened this out, and it gave me a little bit more room between the belt and the torso, which allowed me to sort of fix it a little bit more, have it play a little bit more. As I kept on playing with this, I kept on referring to the Eradicator version of this, which I felt moved a lot better with the articulation. And I watched some videos on Mafex, and I discovered that some viewers or some reviewers would mention that it suffers from a loose joint of some sort. There's always some sort of quality issues. I didn't really experience a lot of quality issue. It's more like a design issue is what I'm experiencing, because my joints are pretty stable, I think. Maybe this one might be slightly looser than this one, but it's still kind of tight. So I think the joints are good. The range of the articulation is mainly what I was considering Mafex for finishing up my line, but there's just too many things um, that's putting it down on value. So one of the things also is that it's unfortunate the choice of heads that they did on this figure. The hands are good, but if you think about it, this is the only articulation it has, which is kind of lacking as far as I'm concerned. I like the fact that they had these two different types of cowls, but this rebreather mask, this is not going to be used by me. Some other people might like the idea on this, so I mean, for them, congratulations. But I feel like this is a wasted plate. I feel like this is a wasted face. I also don't like the fact that in order to get a grimaced look or an angry look, you have to switch over to this head with the different styles. It's a shame that they couldn't offer an option where the faceplate could be switched between the two. Then you would have had more options than just two display options for the face. You would have had four. Um, so in terms of value with the price, unfortunately, in order to have a comparison of value between the price, I would have to be satisfied with the price in the first place. In Mafex's position, I don't think this is $100 figure. I think this is maybe a $70, $80. I was looking at how much I paid for Steel and for the Cyborg Superman, because I did not buy this, or I did not pre-order them, and I was able to get them around $75, which is probably why I was interested in continuing it. But $100 figure for Mafex, for what it brings, I don't think it's worth it. Which means the value doesn't even compare as a 1-to-1 ratio. But I did get this using my Amazon credit, so technically this only cost me $26. I have already ordered the Thor because I was thinking I was really gonna like this one, coming off of the Mezco review. But now I'm almost dreading the fact that I ordered it, and mostly because I don't think I'm going to be continuing with this line. What I'll probably do is I will continue to buy and finish the Reign of Superman of the Mafex line, because I already pre-ordered Eradicator and Superboy, so that basically is 4. I might buy the recovery suit, but I'm not sure if I will. I think I'm more interested in getting just a regular Superman, so that I can pair it up with this Batman. And I think that's basically it for my Mafex purchases. So unfortunately, that's basically it for my review for the Mafex Batman. Not only was I not satisfied with the figure, but I think I am discontinuing my purchases of this line, or extremely limiting my purchases of this line. But I have to, before I close though, I will say the articulation that I was hoping to get from Mafex, it delivered. I will say that. It's just the price is just not good enough for it. If I was to be able to get a deal on this and have it purchase at 65 to 75, then I'll buy those figures, because the articulation is really great on this one. It's really, really great. The design is really good, But as you can see for this one, this is from DC Direct, and it looks much more better than this one proportionately. Um, the the way Mafex is designing their figures, um, it's it's the same height as Marvel Legends. It's just the proportions or the style is shorter or smaller. Does that make sense? How does that make sense? I don't know. It's the same height, but it's smaller in proportions. Like smaller head, smaller feet, smaller hands, smaller torso, same thickness in the legs. It's just so weird. And I kept thinking, obviously, it's a different style because it's a different company. Mafex versus Marvel Legends versus Mezco. That's why I wanted a company, just one company that basically crosses all IPs. That's why I was really hoping Mafex will be the one, and maybe it still will, because Mafex has Star Wars, Mafex has DC, Mafex has Marvel. Um, it's just, and those are basically lines that I'm collecting. The only one they don't have is like maybe Masters of the Universe. Um, but the price is just killing me. It just is. It's just not worth $100. And this stand is just awful. It's god awful. This is like a $1 stand, if even $1, because I don't think I even purchased a stand like that. Look, as I'm dropping it, it's, look at that it cannot even hold the weight. Now you might say, well, you can just tighten the screw and that will hold it, but I mean, like, why? The Mezco one doesn't. I don't have to do that. I don't know. It's just, I know I might be getting too picky when it comes to the stand, but it's just $100. You know what I mean? Um, anyway, that's it. That's basically my feeling towards Mafex right now. So it's a good figure, it's a good toy, but not for $100, is what I would say. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope you learned something from it. Stay tuned. The next video that I'm coming up with, and I've been trying not to talk about it, is basically talking about what do you expect when you're spending $100 for a 6-inch figure. Well, I'm going to talk about that on the next review, and I basically just my expectations, but they're basically going to be running around against Mafex, Mezco, third party. This is a BMS Kingdom Come Superman, and then we're going to talk about Mondo, because Mondo is doing a 112 version, which is probably going to be around $80 to $100. So we'll talk about that, even though we don't have anything in hand. But anyway, that's it. I hope you will watch the next video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.